This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, but this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Stanley Parable. What is the Stanley Parable? Well, let's see. I would say it's a game, but it's not really a game. I think the title actually gives it away fairly clearly. It's the Stanley Parable. Now, parable, by definition, is a statement or comment that conveys a meaning indirectly by use of a comparison, analogy, or the like. Or a better definition is a short allegorical story designed to illustrate or teach some truth, religious principle, or moral lesson. So basically, it's a story that teaches something other than what it's saying, which, if you get a certain specific ending, it's very clear what the lesson is. But yeah, so how I picture it as an art exhibit meets Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Okay, and the narrator dude is like a perfect voiceover guy. Like, the reason I'm not even walking out of this room is because the second I step out of this room, he starts talking again, and he does such a good job that I don't want to step over his words. There's also another reason I'm doing that, and that is because this game is about choice. Basically, you come upon a bunch of different choices that you can make, and depending on what choices you make is how the game goes. And right here, unbeknownst to a lot of people, I'm sure, is actually the first choice. And the first choice is this.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Yep, congratulations, you just witnessed the fastest legitimate ending that wasn't the game over screen in any game ever. I don't think there is like a game over screen. least not that I've found, at least. I think I found just about everything. I think I know just about everything. But, yeah. And what's really interesting about all that is that while you were sitting there listening to him talk, 20 minutes have passed. I know it sounds weird, but it's absolutely true. I mean, seriously, I'm at minute 25, actually. You know, and if you looked at the time on your YouTube, congratulations.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes, most of the decisions that you get are announced beforehand.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
This guy's job sucked. Well, granted, Stanley's wasn't any better. They sit there, stare at a computer, push a key when it tells you to push a key, and all that fun stuff. Though I think that's where the parable part of this game comes in. But this guy's job, I can just imagine it. Okay. Hey, employee, 432. Hey, employee, 432. Come over here. I have pencils for you to sharpen. And that's his job. His entire job. Oy. But there's a lot of also very little things in this game. Like, the game actually reacts to the really strange things that you do. Like, if you run around and just, like, click on all of the doors, which I think it does later. Hang on.
Stanley went
There it
around
goes.
touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
That's one of the reasons why I like this game so much. It reacts to you.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office, because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Yeah, almost everything you do in this game, it recognizes as you did it. There are so many little tiny secrets in this game.
Oh, and I guess this is where Stanley felt he needed to be right now, in this little hallway. Here, with no distractions, to study room 417. Not to actually enter it. No. That would be far too forward. Stanley wanted to know it from the outside. To see it not just with his eyes, but with his heart. He would know room 417 as no man or woman had ever known an office before. That ladder over there. Oh, and that little picture of a horizon or something. It's all just a never-ending parade of joy for Stanley.
You know, out of all the times that I've done this, I never once noticed that blue coffee cup sitting right there. There's also another one in the box there. This guy liked coffee, apparently. And I was looking to see if that picture was the same as that picture. That way we could have a better view on it, but it's not actually this picture. Yeah.
Ah, no, apparently not. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
See, now this is where the first really noticeable choice comes in. A lot of you might be thinking, oh, but you missed a choice back there. I know I missed it. It's just, that's one of the weirder ones. It's a little, that would be kind of bad for viewing, but yeah, I gotta say, if you haven't played this game, go play this game. This game is freaking awesome. I'm trying to decide where I want to go. I think I've seen all of the endings, and I know how I want to end this, but you know what? Let's actually do the story right the first time, at least, or at least close to the first time. Hello, Mr. Dude that I don't know. I would assume he's one of the developers, but I don't know. Ooh, that's the horizon picture, in case anybody wanted to get a really good view of it. Makes me wish I had a zoom function.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Check it out, there's an office party. On Friday, at the end of the day, at 4 o'clock. Sweet. There's apparently an 8-bird on Wednesday, whatever an 8-bird means. But there's a lot of little silly things in here. Who moved my desk? Please keep the target. Please keep the targets on the topic of squibbles. Employee 417, 405, 491, 416, 431, and Jim. So one of these employees is actually popular enough to have a name that everybody cares about. But yeah, there's a lot of little tiny itty bitty secrets in here that are just silly little things. Like, for example, that piece of paper right there, a lot of people might not realize, but that's a TPS report from Initech. And if you got that joke, please put that in the comments, because congratulations. Now go smash a printer to the tune of some rap song that I actually don't know. Now behind this door, behind this very door right here, is my favorite ending of any game ever. It's seriously, the broom closet ending is my favorite, by far. However, I'm not going to do it, because, well, it doesn't do well for videoing.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Now this is another choice you can make. You can go down or you can go up. I'm going to go up. I don't like the down ending all that much, but it's a very creative ending, to say the least. And then we got the boss's office.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Now, if you wait a moment, he actually keeps talking. But, yeah, this is... You gotta respect a game that actually...
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Yeah, you gotta respect a game that acknowledges inactivity.
2845.
Lots of inactivity.
Eight.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the key. But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in.
The hell?
And the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I never found that before. Oh, I love this game. I never did find that before. I know if you type in 8 4 times, twice, it's an achievement that I already have, for the record. I have all but 2 of the achievements. But I never found... I never knew the narrator got exasperated waiting. I'm laughing too hard.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Yeah, and this is where we get into the really
Stanley
interesting
walked straight
part.
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yeah, I walked in, went, let's go this way. And then I heard...
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
And then I said, screw that, and went back. This is actually how I played the game for the first time.
Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
And then this room actually gives me the creeps a little bit.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yeah. It's actually a little less creepy for me because I'm in 720p windowed mode, but when it's in full screen and I'm playing this room creeps me out. I don't know what it's called. I don't know if it's actually a phobia. It probably is. But I have a phobia of very large open rooms. It just freaks me out, and I don't know why. Boop.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
There's actually a secret in that screen right there, the one where it's like a glitch, kind of ish. Almost like a blue screen of death, but red. There's actually another secret in there, but you can't read it from here. You actually have to dig into the game code and pull the image out. But it says something along the lines of nobody will ever see this image. Boop.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
You want to see something awesome? Let's wait about 50 seconds approximately, and we'll see what we got. That one guy's fired, which is interesting. Is there anything else interesting on these screens while we're waiting for 50 seconds? Well, probably more along the lines of 30 right now. There's some pretty interesting stuff. On that platform over there, it's actually physically possible to jump up on the railing and then fall down. Oh, our 50 seconds are up. And you get stuck down there. You don't die or anything. You just get stuck down there, and that's the end of it. Those screens are white. Oh, that's because they're just hallways and stairways. Okay. Cover your ears. Just fair warning. If you're wearing headphones, take them off or turn them down or something. I know I don't have the opportunity to, so, yeah. Yes. I love this. Freaking awesome. This game is amazing. Such silly little things that are in here. It's awesome. It's amazing. Never give up on your secrets. Happy secret to you. Super secret bros. Secrets. Yes. First time I did this, I started disco dancing. And now I'm off.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I love how the monitors down there stayed disco.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay, so I am going to look for something really quickly, because I hear a lot of controversy about all this. Let's see, that's 1, 2. There's 4 up there. What I never have found, I've never found button 3. I don't think I have, at least. Because there's button 5. See, button 5. I have no idea where button 3 is. Oh, is that button 3? Yes, that's button 3. Okay. I have seen button 3. I was just insane. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You'll see why I did that here in a second. Just because I wanted to see. There's a lot of controversy about this. And I know what's going to happen. But I've never actually done it before.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Danger. Electric shock risk. So, this is the final decision. Yeah, I guess this qualifies as the final decision in the game. We could turn the machine completely off, or we could turn it on. Which I was a little confused about, because I always thought power was a kind of binary thing. You either had power or you didn't. But, yeah, whatever.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they
Why
kept
not?
you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted?
Hells yeah.
Control? Oh, Stanley,
that the
I
entire
applaud
point?
your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes
He
off.
just
But what
keeps
precious
on
moments
talking.
each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a
Pay
good
attention,
mood.
this is actually
You're gonna
explaining
die
the
anyway.
game.
I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing.
Did nothing.
Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
About
Or
right.
did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here
Holy
will
crap,
save
the door's
me.
open.
How would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can
Never
be
seen that
beaten?
door open before.
One solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Yeah, there is no way to get out of that. Just no way whatsoever to get out of that. As much as you could try.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, let's see. What do I want to do next? I know what I want to do next. Let's piss off the narrator. I love doing this.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, screw that.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yeah, I'm not listening to him. Let's keep going.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Now, I don't actually remember what happens when you go down that elevator. I really don't. But we're doing the direct opposite of what this guy wants us to do, so...
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Whee.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
No.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
I actually want to walk through that door. But this door doesn't open. It's got like a card lock on it or something. I don't know. But yeah, this one confused me for a couple of moments because I'm like, I would assume that he emphasized red door. I would be given another option, but I'm not seeing one. And then I did this. Yeah. That was obvious.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
It's because you're not paying
Tell you
attention.
what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Now, I've got to ask a question real quick. Any game developers out there, do you actually program games like this? Where you get developer textures like that, where it's just, this is where a ceiling light will go, and it's in the office space, and that kind of stuff. Do you guys do that? Because I've never... Well, I'm not a game designer, so I don't know these things.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Okay, now I have pressed all 5 of these buttons at one point in time, and they're all kind of funny. I'm just trying to decide which one's actually most annoys the narrator. 1 is actually pretty good, but I think 3 is hilarious.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Yeah, now we got a worldwide leaderboard. Yeah, I don't think that's accurate. I always wondered, I knew this part wasn't, but I always wondered if that part, the in total part, was actually accurate. It's not. Those numbers are all the same. Yeah, we've been beaten by a dead rat. Game on! Yeah, going through all 3 of these doors, they all take you to the same place no matter what you do.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Okay, now, I also know that all 5 of these buttons do exactly the same thing. He doesn't react to any of them, so you can push any of them, and he does.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Watch your ears, people. Ugh.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Yeah, and you can actually play this for 4 hours. This is another one of those choices that you can make in the game. And it actually does something if you play for 4 hours. I, however, will not be. Not right now, anyways. Maybe some other day.
You heartless bastard.
Hells yeah.
Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
Second one.
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
I've played this
Well,
game
Stanley,
before.
is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough?
No.
Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things
I can't
for
jump,
you.
you bastards.
From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
Now, I have tried it where I just stood out here for long periods of time, nothing happens. Try closing the door. Nothing. The only thing you can do is actually go into the dirt hovel.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Now just pause for a moment, enjoy the sounds of this world. I just wanted to let that play because I actually really like that part. It actually sounds like something made for Minecraft. They did a really good job with this. Unless that actually was made by C418. I have his album, I just don't remember all of the songs on it. But off we go.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Nope, don't have any coal to make torches. Look, mushrooms. Dirt.
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind.
Iron.
I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
And then we get something even better. Wait for it. Assuming my game hasn't crashed. There we go.
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Yep, it's exactly what you think it is. And it's pretty freaking awesome, too.
Ooh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
Ow, damn it. There's a way to get stuck in this room, and I've been trying to figure out how, and I don't know how.
Genius.
But apparently, if you get stuck in this room, you can piss off the narrator. But I have no idea how to do it.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I don't need your advice. I don't need your ratings. And I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work, and I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
Now, can't you just picture him saying something along the lines of, Space is big. Really, really big. Absurdly, hugely big. I mean, you might think it's a long way down to the... Oh, I forget the quote. Damn it. But you could just picture him saying the lines from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's like spot on. It's weird and mildly creepy. Now, what's absolutely hilarious is I was reading a guy who wrote up how he stood in this room waiting for the end, waiting for it to reset for like ever, and it never reset until he manually reset. Apparently, he didn't realize this. Yes, there's a down to this part of the game. And in case you're worried, this is kind of like Portal. You don't take fall damage. Of course, you don't make noise when you land, but you don't take fall damage. Or I wonder if that's the smoke that's coming up. Dust that I kicked up from just being down here. I don't know. Now, I've probably fallen off of every single corner of this place too, but it all ends up in the same exact place. There. Which you may or may not recognize. This is a recreation of the original Stanley's Parable, back when it was a mod for Half-Life. And this is extremely dark. I wonder how well this is going to show up on YouTube. But yeah, it's from back when it was just a mod for Half-Life. And I played it. Well, was that Half-Life? No, it was Gary's mod, wasn't it? I forget. They're both built on top of the Source engine. But yeah, this is the original two-door choice. Go left or go right. Go to the meeting office. But it all ends up, of course, in the same place. Because, well, it's broken right now. Because it's just a recreation. And I gotta admit, I really... this game is just so weird on so many levels. Is that a Metroid? I don't know. 425. 426. 427. Yes, this was the original room, and I swear to God that's Adobe Premiere. That screen, I have no idea, but that screen looks like Adobe Premiere. Really, really does. But, yeah. And then I guess you're supposed to just run away from that room, because you end up...
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Yeah, so let's do one more just for the fun of this. I know this is running a little bit long, longer than normal.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Yes, I know this video is going a little bit longer, but Stanley Parable is freaking awesome, and I've probably played it for 12 hours now. Kind of ridiculous. But yeah, one more ending. Not the real ending, of course, but one more ending. That went back to normal. One more ending before I call it a day.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I am entering the door on my left. Oh, it doesn't work anymore. Huh. Interesting. Whatever.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
I broke
Feeling
the door.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Passive-aggressive notes. Yay!
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Yeah, there's far more to that, but no, I'm not doing it here.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah. Most of this I'm doing just for the fun of it. Oop. This door was locked before. The first time you come up here, it's always locked. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Okay. See, is the other one open? This door. This door is not always open. It is. I went out. That's not me, by the way. That's the narrator that's humming along to the song. I just do that for the fun of it because it's an awesome part of the game. It doesn't go anywhere, but it's an awesome part of the game. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Is it open yet? No, it's not. Okay.
Stepping in.
Yep. Okay, I did it. Yep. What you're seeing here is a broken part of the game. I think the theory is that looks slightly glitched. The theory is that it was an ending that was taken out of the game, but not completely. And people just kind of stumbled upon it. I guess they were trying to do what I just did with that door right there and blocked it open. For the record, you don't have to do that. All the doors open on the way back. But, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But I thought it was just awesome. And I figured it's a perfect note to end on. Because it just shows what all goes into this game. And this isn't even half of the endings of the game. There are so many more. Loading screen. You are now leaving. Congratulations. Escape pod bay, floor 760, and we're on 754, so we got a ways up to go. Oh, I wonder if it does it again. No, I'm not hearing it this time. The first time I tried to record this, which I trashed because I didn't like it, every time I would stand right here, I would get cell phone interference. Like the old GMC cell phones, GMC, that was the right technology. Really, really old school cell phones that were just like voice cell phones. If you would sit one right beside a speaker, and then right before it would call, you would get interference on the speaker. That's what I hear. That's what I heard. Every time I stood right there, I heard that interference. And I thought maybe it was my cell phone and the video wasn't hearing it. You might. I don't think I ever looked. Yeah, I never actually looked in the video to see if that's where the sound was coming from, but I guess I can look again. I did record it. But my cell phone right now is sitting exactly where it was the first time I recorded this, and I'm not hearing those noises. So I don't know. And it's not like my phone was ringing or anything. Just kind of weird. Very, very weird thing. And I've never actually seen that problem when you're wearing headphones that are attached to the speakers either. I've only ever heard it from the speakers, and only certain kinds of speakers, like the speakers in my old car. Okay, now we're at the right level. Now I can stop rambling. Okay, this is the escape pod launch bay, and there's something really interesting written here that we might find entertaining. Now, I can't tell what it says there, really, but something along the lines of entering the escape pod will initiate a relay that once triggered cannot be disabled or paused. Both the narrator and player must be present in order for escape blah blah blah. Play out as intended. So I'm not sure what that actually says fully, but if you noticed, I'm the only one talking. There's no narrator. So, yeah. But this is going to be the end of my little video. I just thought this ending was a little bit silly. So I will say to you guys, as always, keep playing the game and have fun.